This is a quick review of the Ugears Mechanical Celesta kit. Now this is the fifth Ugears kit that I've done, and I have two more right behind me that I'll be doing after this. So be sure to like and subscribe and look through my old videos to see some reviews of other Ugears kits, and I will have a couple of more reviews coming up. But yeah, I'm glad that they made a musical instrument again. The hurdy-gurdy project was interesting, but I never got it because it looked pretty complicated, and I'm not really into like hurdy-gurdy music. But this Celesta looks like it's probably actually really fun to play and possibly even useful. So I wanted to give it a try. And so let's just go through the box and see what comes in it. I've already looked through the manual. It is a very detailed manual. Their manuals are very good, but there are some places where, you know, you do have to be careful and look at the orientation of things. And my general advice about these kits is to go slow, take your time. Because if you get in a rush, that's when you break things or start to put things together backwards or whatever. But yeah, they always have very good manuals. This one's pretty long. And then at the end, it's got some like songs you can put onto the piano roll thing. And here's just a look at the parts. So, frame pieces and stuff. Here's a bunch of pieces of the piano rolls parts. This is a little tool that you use as you're putting it together. More piano roll style pieces. Key levers and side of the frame. More frame parts and parts of the key levers. Here's the tops of some of the keys. Some more pieces of the key levers. And then this piece came out of that last part, but it's like a little flexible piece. It's cool how they cut that, but that's part of the piano roll part, I think. Here are the little strikers for the keys. Got some rubber bands. Got some rope, like soft stick rope. A rubber band. Some sandpaper, and then here are the metal little tone bars for each note. So a Celesta is like a xylophone, you know, but it's played with keys and those little strikers. It has a great sound. I have Celesta on my synthesizer, but I don't have a real one, so I guess I'll kind of have a real one now. But I'm going to put this together, and I will be back with my thoughts about the kit overall, and we'll give a little demo of some songs with it. Alright, so I finished my Ugears Celesta here. And it is working. So I wanted to go over a couple of things that I really like about this, and then I'll go over a couple of things that kind of bug me about this and about Ugears kits in general. But yeah, it's really cute. It sounds decent. It's fun to play. It sounds very thin, like a Celesta kind of does. And the piano roll thing works great. Now, I had to do a lot of finagling and adjusting, and you do have to be very careful how you put these pins in, or they get caught as they go through. But I did get everything to work, and I'm getting ready to do some more fun songs with it. But overall, very cute, fun kit to put together, and I think something that you can keep for a good long time. And I love the Ugears kits because of that. Like, most of the ones that I put together, I still have. And I've been doing them for many years. I think I did the first one like 7 or 8 years ago. So good look at the mechanics there. But that brings me to the first of the things that I kind of don't like about Ugears in general, and specifically with this kit, which is, I think that these models are nice enough that you want to keep it, right? But the problem is they use rubber bands. And I think Ugears is selling themselves a little bit short with these rubber bands, right? These don't last. They last about a year, and then they kind of degrade no matter what you do. So there's nothing you can do to save these rubber bands. Now these here will be easy to replace. But the ones that are up in here, not so much. A little bit harder to get after those. And then on some other Ugears kits, like my airplane launcher and my harvester, the rubber bands are really hard to replace because you have to kind of take the thing apart. And I think Ugears is doing a good job with some of the newer models which have metal springs, because these models are nice enough that you want to keep them for years if you can, and the rubber bands just don't last years. They last maybe 1 year, and then they get soft, and then they just fall off. So I would appreciate it if they would start including some metal springs, or maybe if someone could tell me some tiny coil springs that you might be able to use to replace those. I'll look around and see if I can find some, but that would make a big difference in terms of the longevity of the model, and it would make me, as a Ugears fan, more likely to buy something like this. Right? I know that if I could fill my shelf up with things like this and they would last, that would be really nice. But having several of these sitting around that don't work anymore, and I have to do work to take them apart and put them back together again, and find the right rubber bands somewhere, that's very frustrating. The other thing that I kind of didn't like about this particular model is this crank section, like this section with the crank on it, it comes loose. So it keeps coming out, of this part right here. This part comes disconnected. It doesn't disconnect completely, but you can see it's like a little bit out right now, and it, you know, needs to be lined up and pushed back in. And I don't know why that is happening so often, but I feel like another brace across here or something might have improved this model a little bit. The last thing that I kind of think is a little bit funny about this one, and it might just be mine, is it's in the key of C. I would actually happily do a kit with a lot more keys that had sharps and flats here. But it's supposed to be in the key of C, and so you should be able to play a major scale starting on the C and ending on the C. So listen though. Did that sound a little funny to you? Sounds funny to me, and I'll show it to you again. Listen. Right? The F is off. It's almost like this is playing maybe a different intonation of the major scale instead of the standard one. Anyway, it makes it sound funny when you use the F. I don't know if that matters enough, but, or maybe there's something wrong with this piece, right? Maybe this piece in my kit was just made a little bit off. That can happen. But I would like it if it sounded in tune. That would be a lot better. It's easy to take out and put back in. So overall, I really like this kit. I think that it is good practice for intermediate level kind of Ugears kits. And I think that if you want to tackle the harder ones, this is probably a good one to get your feet wet with a little bit of the more complicated mechanics and some of the things that you have to be pretty careful about. It's a good one to practice being able to get things running smoothly and just understanding the way that Ugears does things, like the way they stick pieces together, the way that they have, you know, these little bits that hold things in a final way, the way they did the feet on the bottom, all those kind of things. It's good to get your feet wet with a little easier model before you try something hard. But yeah, very satisfied with this overall, and I think it was good practice for the other models that I have coming up. So be sure to like and subscribe, because this will be coming up next. This is the next one I'm going to do. The Tourbillon Table Clock model Skywatcher. And this one's very complicated, but it has metal springs and stuff, so it should be pretty nice.